Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. So let's talk about the current Powder of Hope shop. Alright, so if you guys are not aware, we got a new season again. I completely forgot about this, and because like this do happen once in a while, and then sometimes the I think the Powder of Hope rotates twice a month, and this one rotates every month, right? This particular one and the PvP shop. But Powder of Hope currently, as you can see, we got a new cast of characters right here. This is going to be very interesting, and we got Disciplinary Committee Glacia, we got Comeback Idol Yuri, Piercing Magic Bow Elena, and of course Bright Moon Dalvi. Alright, so let's talk a little bit more about this because this is going to be extremely interesting. Now if you have to pick one, alright, out of these four, and you can only pick one, absolutely go for Bright Moon Dalvi. She's the most meta out of all of this bunch. She's probably going to be the character that you are going to use the most, ideally in a lot of situations. You can use her quite flexibly in endgame, in PvP she can be used, in the tower she can be used. She's also going to be the best wind type magic DPS character currently in the game, alongside with Venaka, right? So if you are only going to pick one, she is going to be the one that you want to go for. Now obviously the swimsuit Dalvi variant you cannot obtain anymore because this is like a limited costume whatsoever. But this is going to be a very unique costume. I wish they would release more costumes similar or much more akin to this. So basically how it works is she transforms, and then every single turn she's just going to be able to attack for 6 turns, right? She will be able to attack in this particular form, in this tile range, without consuming SP. Pretty cool, right? So you only need to do this one time, but of course there will be a cooldown as well. She's going to be a 3 SP character. You can still use her in PvP. It is going to be a little bit a little bit difficult to use ideally, but right now this is going to be the one that you want to try to obtain. As you can see, she also can apply energy guard to herself, and her multiplier is just insane. Now if you guys are not aware, this particular Dalvi, even though this is a 3x3 tile, I've made a comparison before between this particular swimsuit Dalvi that hits 3x3 tiles, which is a 9 tile range, whereas this one only hits 3 tiles. This one is going to do way more, alright, which is kind of insane, right? You can go back and watch any of the Fiend Hunter or Guild Raids bosses that I've done before, comparing these two costumes. This costume is just by far one of the strongest one, alright? So hopefully you guys try to get this particular one if you guys haven't already. I would definitely strive to get this one to +5. So with that out of the way, alright, the other 3 is going to be much more questionable. They are going to be less used compared to Dalvi for sure. So absolutely pick up Dalvi if you haven't already +5 her. I've already +5 mine. So let's first talk about Piercing Bow Elena. Where does she come in, and what is going to be her position or her role right now, right? So Elena is going to be a little bit tricky because she is much more focused in terms of trying to remove buffs, right? So you know who else remove buffs? That is going to be Sherazad. And personally, I prefer Sherazad. Now I get it that some of you guys are probably going to not have this particular costume that I'm about to show you guys, right? Because Sherazad, what makes her really strong is her ability to remove buffs. She has this costume right here, which is 2 SP. Now this is going to be very good, right? That means you can remove taunt, you can remove counter and stuff for 2 SP, which is kind of insane, right? So this particular one is 3 SP, this particular one is 5 SP, and this particular one is 3 SP. So I feel like Sherazad is going to be a way more flexible character in terms of her ability to do more things. Every single one of her costume remove buffs. If you need a very cheap budget 2 SP buff remover, you have it. If you need a 3x3 tile buff remover, you have it as well. Whereas Elena is going to be much more weirder in that sense. So here's the thing about Elena, she used to be really strong before Lubensha comes out. Alright, Lubensha came out, literally just replaces her because she's right now the best physical dark type character. So that's going to be the problem that you'll see pretty much Now Elena is still alright. If you did reroll for her, for those of you who are not aware, basically in the beginning of Brown Dust 2, they give you the unlimited reroll, and Elena is one of the options that you can basically obtain. I still think that Celia is going to be a much better reroll option, but if you care about getting a character to remove buffs specifically, you can do that. Now you can definitely use her in PvP as well. She's also a 2 SP, alright, keep in mind. However, the tile range is going to be a little bit more, I'm not going to say finicky, but it's going to be a little bit more different, alright? You are going to be able to obtain this in terms of like hit in a straight line, very different from what Sherazade provides as well, right? So this one is going to be 2 SP. She also has one more costume that is going to be 3 SP if you are willing to have that. So this is going to be the one that can also apply silence and can reduce defense. All in all, if you're looking for like a costume that can help you a little bit with stuff, this one is not bad, alright? But I feel like outside of specific certain scenarios, you don't really use her anymore unless you are just bringing her specifically to remove buffs, right? Sherazade, I would say like there are some situations that you can still use her and she still kind of shine because of her flexibility in all 4 of the costumes that she has in terms of trying to tackle certain tile range, whereas for Elena it's going to be much more restrictive. Now one more thing is also, Sherazade has 4 costumes that can remove buffs, whereas Elena only has 1 costume that can remove buff, which is going to be this particular range. Alright, so it is going to be an option for sure, but I just wish that she would have 2 costumes that can do that, right? But other than that, it's not that big of a deal. I think Elena, again, I feel like she's going to be the second best physical DPS character right now that we have. But ever since, you know, we have access to Luventia, I feel like Luventia is just going to be the better one, alright? So personally, I believe she is going to come next week. If you guys intend to pull for her, definitely consider her as an option. Now what about the other 2, right? Next up we have Yuri. Alright, Yuri is going to be a light type physical DPS. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about Yuri. Alright, I feel like she's okay. She's alright, but I think she needs 1 more costume to be strong, right? So right now Yuri, she has this particular one that increases her attack and she hits 4 times. She also has this particular one that increases crit damage and also hits for a lot of damage. When she first came out, there was a bit of weird little thing, right? If you guys are not aware, if you guys didn't play back then, there was a bit of drama actually for this particular costume because her multiplier is so high. She was the first like insane power crit, right? Because compared to every other character, she just straight up has 700% multiplier. You look at this one, right? This one is 70% times 4, right? Because he hits 4 times. 70% times 4, 280%, right? Compared to this one, straight up just 700%. It blew a lot of the other characters out of the water. But right now, in the current meta right now, she's not really being used much, sadly. I feel like if you're looking for a light DPS character, Vendana is going to be the better option if you're looking for a single target, and Sacred Justice is going to be the better option if you're looking for AoE. Now Yuri is going to be somewhere in between. You need both costumes, right? If you have the other costume, sure, but if you only get the current one, which is the Idol Yuri, then it's going to be a little bit lacking. I feel like you're not going to get the maximum potential of that particular costume. So I feel like definitely for the rankings, I will go for number 1, number 2, number 3, and then let's talk about Glacia, right? Glacia, it's a bit complicated. This particular costume is not bad, right? Disciplinary Glacia. So if you look at it, what she can do, she can be a 1-turn, right? But it's going to be a bit weird because she does damage and she's a fixed damage, right? So she's not really a DPS character. I think this is going to be the important one because this is the one that gives her taunt and also can revive herself if she dies, right? So this is the one that's like much more useful if you care about using her in PvP, etc. Whereas this one is it's alright if you're trying to do some shenanigans in like PvP and stuff, because fixed damage can be strong in PvP. That means you can like ignore certain things, incoming damage reduction, and try to do a bunch of damage. But personally, I don't think you'll use her much outside of that specific niche scenario, right? I don't think you need Glacia as much. So overall, you know, like most of these characters, these 3 I would say you can pretty much skip them, right? I feel like if you're talking about in terms of the meta of trying to tackle guild raids or Fiend Hunter, Bright Moon Dalvi is going to be the one that you are going to use consistently. The other 3 costumes, I almost haven't used them for like, I would say 2 months plus, right? Now Elena is going to be useful if you need to remove taunt, your remove buff can still be like some sort of things that you can consider to use in some specific niche scenario in tower, etc, etc. But then again, we also have Sherazade, which is pretty much free, right? So there's also that to consider if you're looking for a specific one to just do certain things, right? So yeah, overall, that's gonna be it for this season of Powder of Hope. Make sure you guys get Bright Moon Dalvi if you guys haven't already. Very, very good character, very strong. Alright, you guys are not gonna regret it. She's going to be also very one of the best looking L to D or animated screen as well, right? For hers in the skill cutscene. Very, very cool. With that being said, that's gonna be it for this particular video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.